That was fun. That was our new intro. Well done, Steven. Welcome to the KSR Happy Hour presented by Country Boy Brewing. We're here every Thursday at 4 p.m. through football season to talk about Kentucky football, basketball, NFL, whatever is on our minds. We have two beautiful Country Boy brews being modeled today. We've got Zack with the Cougar Bait and Jack with the Country Light. Unfortunately, I don't have any because I drank all in my fridge and forgot to get more at the lake. So I've got a Waterloo. But these boys are going to tell you how delicious and refreshing these beers are. How's that Cougar Bait, Zack?
It is excellent. I went out today and bought it solely so I can have one right now and then the other 11 tomorrow or Saturday from around 11 to 3 o'clock outside of the Kroger Field facility. So very good, very refreshing. This is a perfect tailgate beer. It's very easy to go down. You'll be peeing all day long, but that's worth it. You know, there's price to pay for drinking all day.
That is true. That is true. You can't drink all day unless you start in the morning, right?
That's very true, especially when Kentucky plays at 3:30.
And you could drink Country Lights all day, I bet, Jack. They're that delicious and refreshing and easygoing.
And guess what? I plan on doing that because it's the start of NFL season and it's the most beautiful day of the year. So like I'm right with everybody. The start of college football season is a blast. I have a good time with it. But football season doesn't officially start until the NFL can overlap and we get the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, where it's just my entire life is consumed by the most beautiful sport in the world. And I will be drinking to that.
So you're repping your Patriots gear. I'm repping my Titans gear because you're right. NFL kicks off. We got repping On 3 and repping white t-shirt. The NFL kicks off tonight. And Zack, when we got on our pre-production meeting or whatever you want to call it, you were like, wow, you're wearing Titans gear. And I said, it's probably the only time this year the Titans are going to be undefeated. So let me enjoy this moment. I got to enjoy it, revel in it. It's actually it's got my name on it. It's a personalized jersey I got as a gift, I think like 15 years ago. So it is not current at all. I'm number.
Is it 26 for Chris Henry?
No, it's 26 because that's
Chris
my
Henry.
birthday.
R.I.P.
Or Chris Johnson, maybe? Chris Johnson?
Taylor Thompson?
I don't know.
Is there actually a Taylor Thompson on the Titans
Wasn't Derrick
roster?
Henry like 26?
Yeah, he was. He was a tight end for the
Yeah.
Well, Chris Johnson was 28 for the Titans. That's what I was thinking. Same era of jersey.
Yeah, CJ2K, who memorably had these billboards all around Nashville claiming that he had no home. Those were fun Titans days. It was like it was a weird saying that he had, and he tied it into a real estate deal, or like sponsorship. So anyway, like you said, we're off the rails already. So I think that's a good start. Drew Franklin will be joining us. He is currently en route from KSR's remote in Bowling Green, so he's going to slide in here in a minute. But I think we should start with Steven, who is so confident Kentucky is going to beat Ole Miss on Saturday. I had to bring him on because I need some of that optimism. I need it. Tell me why the Cats are going to win.
It's just a feeling, really. But I think there are some reasons to be optimistic a little bit. Like maybe that was the worst offensive performance of the season. It could have been. And maybe that was like the worst couple drives of defense we've seen. I just think people are jumping into the negativity a little bit too soon. I know that didn't look amazing on Saturday, but I still don't think we know anything yet. So I'm choosing optimism before pessimism, which it's a new attitude I'm trying out. We'll see how long it lasts. It might be halftime on Saturday that I give it up.
I hear this spiel from Steven 78 times a year.
Yeah,
honestly,
you can't phase me anymore.
We're undefeated.
This is Steven calling the kettle black right here is what it sounds like.
Well, we're undefeated. I'm choosing positivity until I have to choose negativity. But I do think that there's reasons to be optimistic. I think that defense might be like pretty damn good. I was told by people who know football that Toledo was going to put up some points. And going into the fourth quarter, where they have 2 points.
We were the only points that they had scored.
Yeah, but the offense gave those up. So I mean, yeah, the 95-yard drive doesn't give me a ton of – I mean, there's nothing I can really take positive out of that. But come on, the game was over. They gave up. It is what I'm not getting myself injured playing Toledo week 1 when we're up 17-2. So
are you among the group that thinks that Bush Hamden was holding some stuff back, some play calls back, so he could bring them out versus Ole Miss?
Yeah, probably not actually, but I because I think when it was 10-2, you probably needed to figure out how to score. But I don't think that after a 5-yard run and a 6-yard run that we'll see 3 straight passes ever again. So especially where the ball was when your field goal kicker is supposed to be able to hit from 60. So put the ball on the ground and let's beat Ole Miss. I mean, every game with them is close. And we know that with the defense being good, the game can be close. So let's just make the plays down the stretch and win this game. Let's go 2-0.
Well, I love that optimism. I could use a little bit of it. Although, if you do look at the numbers, there's a path to victory. I'm looking up Ole Miss. Obviously, they beat Georgia State 63-7, which isn't, that score doesn't look very promising for Kentucky. But Georgia State was able to run almost 200 yards on them. So Kentucky's running game looked good in the second half versus Toledo. It kind of was slow to get started. So maybe there's a path. But my biggest fear, I think, with Saturday is last year, Kentucky had the biggest explosive play of the season, that 63-yard throw to Barryon Brown on 4th and 7.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have anybody capable of doing that this year? I mean,
Kendrick Law, maybe if he can get the ball in his hands once.
Yeah, so that's my biggest fear. I think Kentucky went 0 for 8 on explosive plays, or 0 for 5. I forget the number of long shots they took that did not connect, but that's my biggest fear going into it.
So we're due. We had about 8 plays last year that went our way. That, I mean, in most Kentucky football years, that ball bounces off Caddis and it goes to an Ole Miss player. Most years that 4th and 7 falls incomplete, or it's picked off and they just score another touchdown. Like, we had about 7 or so plays, and then the missed field goal. Like, when's the last time Kentucky won a game on a missed field goal? I can't, off the top of my head, even come close to thinking of one. So, like, I mean, again, I know we got lucky, but maybe we're just better this year.
I'm loving this optimistic Steven. This is great. Go ahead, Zach.
Whenever I listen, I was listening to 11 Personnel earlier today, and they find Adam and Nick, they know like where the cool stats are and stuff, and things that actually that you don't see just by looking at regular box scores. So they said, they gave me enough reason to believe, like, okay, maybe Kentucky can actually make it close. Like, you have, I think it was like 17-7. Ole Miss was beating Georgia State with only a few minutes left in that first half. Then they just kind of ran up the score after that. Like you said, they got a bunch of those rushing, or Georgia State ran up like 190 rushing yards. Ole Miss did a lot of like explosive play stuff, like just kind of beating up on a bad defense, essentially. Is it Austin Simmons? I think it's Austin Simmons is their quarterback. This is going to be his first like real challenge, going into a, I know he's book smart, but is he going to be SEC football smart whenever he gets on the field there? And hopefully it's a very big, loud and rocking crowd as well. So I can be talked into, the thing that worries me is you've got all these analytics things saying that Ole Miss is a top 5 team in the country. I think the SP Plus and the FPI, the Football Power Index, both have Ole Miss ranked 4th. So I don't know how much that week 1 is really boosting them up that high, but it does make you think, why are they up that high? And then the spread's only 10 points, which does give me a little bit of cause, because I feel like if you're in the situation Kentucky's been all offseason, you barely beat Toledo, Ole Miss is top 20, they run up the score on a bad Georgia State team. You think that betting line might be a little bit larger in favor of Ole Miss, but it's only 10 points. So I don't know. I can be convinced. I probably won't be, but I would love to hear someone else try and convince me so I can buy into it a little bit more as we get to Saturday.
Welcome,
Drew.
Yeah, welcome to the show,
Hello.
Drew.
Is my mic on? Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Good. I usually have technical difficulties. So, all right, good. I'm here.
All good. Wearing Cowboys gear and not Titans gear. I'm very disappointed. I see where your true allegiances lie.
Titans don't play today, so I feel like I can represent the Star. They are America's team. It's the biggest day of the year to be a Cowboys fan. Still have hope, so I thought I could wear the hat today.
That's why I'm wearing my Titans jersey. All right, Jack. How are your vibes about Kentucky Ole Miss 2 days ago?
I can't get God again. I do this every year. I was in Steven's box.
Excuse me?
Where he says the same things where I talk myself into it way too often. I believe that I read the stats that make me believe in Kentucky's ability to pull off the improbable, and I just can't do it. Like I need to see it with my own two eyes. Yes, I understand. Like if Mr. Optimistic Jack, Sunshine Pumper Jack, which I am on the basketball side, but I cannot be on the football side right now, I would look at the trenches and say, Ole Miss's biggest weakness on the offensive line is Kentucky's biggest strength on the defensive line. We're gonna, pass rush and scare Austin Simmons to death and show him what real SEC football looks like. That's how I would build myself up. But I'm not going to let myself, because Kentucky hasn't won an SEC football game at Kroger Field since 2008, and I'm not doing it. I refuse to buy into the hype. I hope I'll have a good time drinking beer watching it, but I'm just not gonna buy into it yet.
All right, Drew, that leaves you.
What was the initial question? I'm hearing the answer.
What are your vibes about the game?
My vibes. I actually think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. I don't think Kentucky will win, but I think just the history of this game, as we all know very well, the last 4 games have come down to literally one play has decided it, from a missed extra point to DK Metcalf to Barryon Brown. One play has made a difference. I don't know it'll be one play here, but I think Kentucky will be in it for most of the game, and they'll just eventually cave in the end. So my vibes aren't great for winning, but I'm not as pessimistic as some. I'm not just throwing in the towel on everything already. I think they'll be in the fight in the fourth quarter.
Well, optimistic Steven is in the comments giving some pessimistic stats. He says Polymarket only gives.
I just can't with him. I can't.
What are these numbers? What?
And speaking of optimism and pessimism, so last week, you may recall on Happy Hour, we were talking about the Athletics survey that said 89% of Kentucky fans are pessimistic about this season. Well, we ran a poll to see what our viewers thought. And at the time, so 1 week ago, we were 66% optimistic, I believe. Steven checked it today. We have swung. We are now 75% pessimistic.
Ooh,
with
Yikes.
1.6 thousand people voting. So that win over Toledo didn't really inspire a lot of confidence.
So of us 4, then, who is the optimist?
Steven?
Well,
Is he still optimistic?
We'd have to bring him in if one of 4 is optimist. That means one of us has to be. I'll do it.
I don't think
I'll take the bullet. I'll be the optimist this week.
It ain't
Fair
gonna be me.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think that Kentucky has the playmakers, or that we've seen yet, that are capable of an explosive play like the Barryon Brown catch last year. So I hope to be proven wrong. I really hope that Zack Geoghegan has a bounce back game, because I think he's better than what he showed in the opener. And it's so weird that a 7th-year quarterback had first game jitters, and that's what we're chalking it up to. But I mean, Drew, you did a whole post about his history against Ole Miss. Will the revenge factor inspire him to a better performance?
Yeah. Hold on. No, I can't get there yet. I might have a little more Kool-Aid later in the week. I do think Ole Miss is not nearly what they were last year. Obviously, Jackson Dart being gone. Simmons having a couple turnovers against Georgia State last week gives me some hope. I know that was a blowout game, but if Kentucky can create the havoc they did against Toledo and force him into a couple mistakes in Kroger Field, then I think you're looking at Kentucky being right in it. And that's kind of what I'm counting on happening. I mean, last year, I think they might have been like a 14.5-point underdog down there in Oxford, playing an undefeated Ole Miss team, and you're deflated, just lost to South Carolina, and you go down and win that game. So I'm not gonna quit on them at all, at least against Ole Miss, just given the history.
Well, there is some optimism in the comments aside from Steven. Otis Hudson thinks UK will beat Ole Miss 24-17. I would take that. Benjamin Bush is not a fan of Bush Hamden. He wants to have Bill Curry back to get his playbook. That's quite a statement for some of our more seasoned fans. We'll see. I mean, we got some time. Some time will tell. Maybe we'll feel a little more optimistic come Saturday. But one thing I think we're all pretty optimistic about, Tyran Stokes. So right before this show started, we got some breaking news courtesy of Jacob Polachek, who reported that Mark Pope and his staff are visiting with Tyran Stokes, the number 1 player in 2026 right now. That was very encouraging. So if you're just catching up on basketball recruiting, the recruiting period started yesterday. And it's been kind of fun to follow along on who Pope and his staff are going to see. They started it off by going to see Tay Kinney at midnight, which seemed kind of odd. Jack, I want your opinion on this, because it had seemed like, following it from a little bit from afar, that UK wasn't really in the running for Tay Kinney anymore, that Louisville was kind of in the front. But is Pope just not willing to give up on him yet?
And I wonder if a lot of that just has to do with the optics of him being a Newport, Kentucky kid and not wanting to, give up on the in-state kid, because Kentucky fans know the value of that with the Jaspers and the Malachis and so forth. So I don't know if a lot of that is just to say that he did it. And, a lot of people were kind of making a big stink about it being at midnight. And it's like, well, it's not like he's going to mom and dad's house and knocking on the front door at 12:01. It was a setup thing. There was a workout set up to allow for coaches to be there if they wanted to be down in Atlanta. So it was just at Tay's own apartment. Like it was scheduled. It was totally normal. And I think they did it for more of the PR plus than the I don't think Kentucky is going to get him. I think he's either going to he's trending toward Kansas or Louisville right now. I think they're going to be kind of a head-to-head battle with Indiana fighting for him. But I think he's just doing what he needs to do with a Kentucky kid. But I think the real one was the Deron Rippey visiting him up in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
That was a really
Steven,
important one.
can we show the picture from that visit of Pope and the cat? Because it's like my favorite thing I've seen this week. Look at that cat looking at Mark Pope. Like, find someone that looks exactly. If that's not the new find someone who looks at you like this meme, I don't know what is. But yeah, keep going, Jack. I didn't mean to stall you.
That's a cat holding a cat surrounded by cats, if I've ever seen one. So yeah, I think he's the number 1 point guard target for Kentucky right now. I think that's the guy that they really want. And, some other guard options, Caleb Holt and, some others that they're really prioritizing. But I think Rippey is the guy. I think today's visit with Stokes is the other guy, top guard, and then the top wing, and then a couple other bigs that they're looking at are Arfan Diane and some others that are getting visits over the course of the week. But those are their number 1A and 1B right there with Rippey and Stokes. And to see them both on back-to-back days and really hope to kind of push those things across the finish line. Stokes will probably commit sooner rather than later, and then we'll see what happens with Rippey, because he has 75 visits planned and just now cut his list from 12 to 10. So TBD on that one. But I think we're kind of in the hunt right now with Stokes. We got to get that thing across the finish line. I'm getting to the point of being antsy, where Kentucky had been the front runner, but now other schools are like, okay, well, why haven't they been able to close on that? Maybe we can kind of dig in a little bit deeper and see if we can sway them. So we're in closing time for Pope. We got to get that one done.
Yeah, Steven, let's show the list we had of who UK has either checked in on or is planning to check in on. Zach, you follow recruiting a lot too. This list, besides Rippey and Stokes and maybe even Kenny, because we talked about him a little bit, what stands out to you?
Well, before Jack, is it Diane? I've always been saying Diane, but I guess that's probably not right when I actually say it out loud.
I'm going to go with Diane on that one.
Diane. Well,
Tyler, do you know the connection with his coach that you would be quite familiar with? Do you know the connection there?
I do not. I'm ready to find out.
One Damon Archibald. You're familiar?
Oh yeah.
That is his coach at Iowa United. So there you go. That is
Pope's brother.
Pope's brother-in-law is Diane's head coach.
Well, that's a good connection to have. I hope we can get an assist there.
We figured that one out. I think when he was at Adidas, Jacob kind of unearthed that one. So that was good reporting by him. But I'll start with the Tay Kinney thing, which I thought was unusual. or interesting, I guess, just because of you think you'd probably rather go see Stokes immediately at midnight, the guy that you're really trying to lock down, and then to go see him the second day, kind of is interesting. I'm sure there's some big master plan behind it all from Pope and the assistants. So I guess I won't question it too much, especially because they went there and saw him today anyways. But yeah, to go see Tay, I mean, maybe I'm overthinking it. Like, is this maybe like a long-term portal play? Like, let's say Tay goes to Louisville and then wants to go to the portal after. Do you scoop him up then? But that seems kind of just silly to do in that case. So I thought that was weird. I did want to know the dynamic of who took the pictures of Pope and Kelsey, if like they just kind of traded off when they were, because the Tay Kenny picture, like he was in the exact same spot of his apartment. So I'm wondering if Pope was like, okay, now it's your turn, Pat, get in there with him, and like they took pictures like that. So I was wondering about that. But Diane, is that what we're gonna go with, Jack? Diane.
I like Diane.
I keep thinking
that's
Princess
right.
Diane. In my
I was
head.
saying Diane, but when I say it out loud, I'm like, that's probably not right. Diane.
And when he goes to UK,
Fair
they can have a Jack and Diane thing, little Jack and Diane segment going on,
Hey.
sources say.
Well,
Oh, I
whenever
like
he comes
that.
to UK,
I like
the
that.
UK will tell us his name is one thing, and then when he goes to the NBA, it'll be a completely different name, which is like what's happened with Adu and like I think even Case and Wallace. His name was Case Kassan, and no one knew that until he left. But so yeah, Diane. Very interested in how that things seem to be moving quickly with him. It looks like Pope was, visiting yesterday. I think who was it? PD Webb, our boy PD Webb, Jack posted that he was in for another workout with Diane today. 7-footers, like basically the best center in that 2026 class. So it seems very interesting, especially with the whole Archibald connection there. Diane
Moved up as official. Yeah.
Moved up the official as well, and guess who he bumped? Bumped Arkansas off his I think he was supposed to go to Arkansas this weekend and bumped it for Kentucky.
Good.
And I think the Arkansas one might get rescheduled, like it's happened with a couple of Kentucky guys as well. But very interested to see how things continue to move along with him, and if maybe he's one of the first guys to make a move. Is he a guy that might want to commit to Kentucky sooner rather than later? I don't know, but I've been keeping a close eye on him. He's a guy but there was no really any Kentucky rumblings or anything when I went to go see him, but just massive, like Oscar level size in terms of like just being bigger, and even has a few more inches than Oscar did, and just like inhales rebounds type guy. But yeah, so those are just my thoughts on that list right there.
Well, we had an Arkansas reference, so I gotta give a shout out to Matt G in the comments saying Pope putting together the #1 recruiting class. Eat it, Cal. So feels like Calipari's. We've kind of gotten over the Calipari thing, but it still would be nice to get that win. Drew, do you have any overarching basketball recruiting takeaways?
Oh, buddy, I actually just learned half that I heard for the first time. I didn't see the breaking news. I've been driving through the rain for 6 hours today, so I was just listening there and taking that in. I actually have a question, not an addition. What is with Lowe and the young backcourt? How are they able to recruit these elite point guard? Like, what's the messaging?
I think that's kind of the big question of the hour because
Jalen Lowe's so good he goes to the league.
I think that's kind of the push. I think that is the push because like, how do you set up a recruiting board when you say, okay, hey, Jalen Lowe does have an additional year of eligibility, and you could kind of see him be in the Otega Oweh situation where he's good enough to go pro, but he would make so much more money by coming back. Maybe he becomes the next SEC All-American preseason SEC player of the year that Otega is next cycle. So I think that's a really interesting dynamic. I personally think Jalen Lowe is good enough to be drafted next year. I think he's exceeded all expectations early. So I think that's the pitch right now on Kentucky side is to all these high school kids. Hey, Jalen is good enough to be a draft pick next year. You come take his money and his minutes. So I think that's the current and just TBD, just in case he doesn't pan out the way they hope or whatever. Just kind of have that conversation down the road. But for now, Jalen Lowe's going to the NBA. You can take a spot in money.
It's exciting.
Well, speaking of Lowe, that's an excellent segue to our next topic. We have basketball practice scoop courtesy of one Jack Pilgrim. We didn't really get it. It wasn't the focus of your piece, but you shared some thoughts on KS Board. Shout out KS Board about practice, mainly Andrea Yelovich's first impressions of him on the court. You had a little piece of Otega Oweh scoop that you passed along that may have freaked some people out, but it shouldn't. If you haven't read it yet, get on KS Board, use the promo code UK1 to get 2 months for $1. I believe that promo is still rolling. Jack, why don't you just start with that? If you want to start with Yelovich or Owe?
Yeah, I think Yelovich is more impactful, meaningful,
Fun.
because I'm not worried about Ortega. Ortega is still in a boot, just for fans to freak out about. Yes, he's still in a boot. No, I'm not worried about it at all. But yeah, Yelovich, the first time we got to hear of him, got pictures of him wearing a Kentucky uniform for the first time. So it's just very cool to hear kind of the backstory of like, hey, he's adapting really, really well. Does something, he's lost on defense on occasion, not setting the best screens, like obvious things that you would expect from a guy that missed 8 weeks of practice and just arrived to the United States a week and a half ago. So, still very, very early in the process, but the early returns are just really, really positive. Apparently just shooting absolutely lights out. And again, I've been higher on him than most. Like, I think that he's going to end the year as Kentucky's starting 4. And I think, we had Alvin Brooks on Sources Say last week, and he talked about how you would have no idea, like, in terms of socially and, mingling with his teammates and feeling welcome to the United States. Teammates had a big part of that, but, you wouldn't have any idea that he's been 8 weeks delayed from everybody else, where everybody else is in terms of camaraderie and things like that. So I think that he is ahead of schedule. I think there's a lot of early optimism about what his productivity can be in year one as a Kentucky Wildcat.
Well, that's what we want to hear. I mean, I certainly do. I mean, I'm glad we haven't heard any, Big Z-esque reports about food taking him down and, the plague settling in at the Joe Kraft Center. So it sounds like his transition's been a whole lot easier.
Well, they tested him with a
Miguel's.
red, yeah, we did Miguel's, and you got the video of the Kentucky becoming Kentucky's team with Mark Pope saying, "Hey, this is a s'more. This is your first s'more of all time. This is America's food. Figure it out." I think they just kind of threw him in with the Sharks initially, just said, "Hey, if we're going to screw up your stomach, we're going to do it early and often, and hopefully we can get that taken care of now before the season starts and we have to worry about it down the road." So yeah. Tear his stomach up early and get that figured out, so we don't have to deal with Indy's chicken wing, whatever the result of that was with Big Z, because that was just a horrible time to be alive.
I thought Big Z just had buzzard's luck. Wasn't that what it was? Just buzzard's luck.
Yeah, he was eating dead buzzards. Is probably what was happening.
Yeah.
So do we have like a breaking news sound? Does anybody want to try a Wani Na Na?
Wani Na Na.
Shout out to Daniel Riddle, who just gave us a $49.99 super chat.
Daniel.
Oh, my God.
I love you, Daniel.
We got to pay taxes on that.
Yeah, cheers to Daniel. He says, please talk about basketball all the time. I think Pope is going all in on shooting threes despite less shooters. To me, the play appears to be shoot a ton of threes and off rebound everything. If you offensive rebound, 30% of your 3-point percentage matters much less. I think that's true. Jack, I'll let you take that one first, since you're our basketball guru.
Well, and I believe Zach was working on a post, or we that was actually a conversation that we had with Alvin Brooks, where the style of play is going to be a little bit different, where this Kentucky team is going to force more turnovers, get a little bit more, active and aggressive defensively, and you kind of use that athleticism and physicality. They really hit the portal hard with guys like Aberdeen and Mo Diabate to kind of address things like that. And the way he described it was, we're going to, muck things up to lead to easier 3-point opportunities, to kind of stick with that same 30 3-point opportunities per game number. It's going to look a little bit different, but they don't want to shy away from that high volume that they tried to get to last year and kind of failed at, especially there at the end of the season. But they're still all in on that 33-point attempt number, and they're going to do it a little bit differently to get there.
Yeah, Zach, any big thoughts? You're our other basketball guru in the house.
Well, it is Riddle, or our guy Daniel there. He must have listened to the Sources Say podcast, because I think that was Alvin Brooks. I think he had two, Jack, correct me if I'm wrong, he had like two kind of main things he talked about when asking about things he wanted to change to this year's roster. I know one of them was offensive rebounding. I don't remember what the other one was. If you want to chime in, was it 3-point shooting?
It was forcing turnovers to present more opportunities on the other end. Yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely think that offensive rebounding percentage is going to go up just because you're going to have more guys that are willing to do it, which, yeah, will in turn lead to more threes. Like Alvin Brooks on the podcast, he said, if we can shoot 3, 4, 5 threes in a possession, like, that's eventually one of them's going to go eventually. That's kind of the thing, the thinking behind it all. So I'm still not all the way on board on the, I don't think they're going to get to the 33 pointers. I just think the best players on the roster just don't shoot as many threes as the best players on last year's roster did. So I don't, and that's kind of the piece I'm going to start working on here whenever I can put my thoughts together more than they are right now. So that's kind of my line of thinking is that the best players on Kentucky's roster next year are going to be guys that want to get to the rim, want to cut, do more things like that. Whereas and that's just going to take away some 3-pointers by necessity. But you're going to make up some of that just by getting more offensive rebounds. So you're probably still going to be in that 24, 23, 25 3-pointers a game range. And as long as you're shooting 35%, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's probably still going to kind of all cancel itself out anyways. But yeah, I think the offensive rebounding is definitely I was interested to hear Alvin Brooks say that because I hadn't really, I guess, thought about that yet. Is just the personnel is going to allow them to kind of feast on the glass this year.
So to really give Daniel his money's worth, let's go around and share who we think Kentucky's top 3-point shooter in terms of percentage will be this season and top offensive rebounder. Drew, I'm starting with you.
Percentage.
Yeah, not necessarily number of attempts and makes.
If it's just percentage, I'm going Mountain Mamba on a low volume off the bench, mostly from the corner. Trent Noah, highest percentage.
All right. What about offensive rebounding? Oh, we've got Steven in the stream.
He's got thoughts.
Yo,
Steven's got thoughts.
Do I need to get out of Steven's way?
Let me cook.
Offensive rebounding is tough because I just don't know how the minutes are going to shake out. I will say offensive rebounding, Mo Diabate. I don't love it. I don't love it. As soon as I said it, I didn't love it, but that's a tough one. That could be a 4 or 5 different people.
All right, we'll go counterclockwise. So Jack, you're next.
I was going to say one Mountain Mamba, but I'll instead go Mormon Mamba since you stole my thunder. We'll go Colin Chandler. I've heard awesome things about him. Just really kind of, making up for lost time from last year. He had that hamstring issue and, kind of was in and out all off season. Kind of stunted his growth as we saw to start the year. Was basically unplayable for a really long portion of the preseason. So I think he is kind of in a spot in his career that he's ready to break through. And I think a big part of that is going to be his 3-point shooting. So we're going to go with the Mormon Mamba, Colin Chandler. And then offensive rebounding is going to be an interesting one because I do think that's going to be kind of a more by committee deal. I think actually I might go with a sneaky pick. I don't think he's going to lead the way, but I think he's in terms of percentage of offensive rebounding opportunities, he's going to make the most of them. And I think it's going to be Trent Noah. I think he's a really, really high level rebounder. And I think he's done some really interesting things on the glass this season. Just kind of has this offseason has just a nose for the basketball and has really turned heads rebounding. So I'm going with one Trent Noah for that one.
Cheers to that. What about you, Zach?
I'm going to say Cam Williams on 3-pointers just because I know the product. I know the 41% from last year. We have a full year's worth, so I'll believe that even if he's kind of in a similar role or maybe even a lesser role where he's playing 20 minutes a game, kind of mostly off ball, I think he's going to be, if he gets the amount of playing time, I think he'll be primed to shoot 41% pretty easily. Offensive rebounding, I have to go with Diabate. While y'all were talking, I did some just light little stat hunting, and the leading offensive rebounder for and I do that by kind of offensive rebounding percentage, like what Jack was saying. Last year, the leading offensive rebounder by percentage was Amari Williams at 10.3%. Mo Diabate was at 13% last season for Alabama. So I think we're going to see that translate pretty easily to Kentucky. And Brandon Garrison had a decent offensive rebound rate. Jaden Quaidman, whenever he gets in, he's going to be able to inhale some boards as well. So I think it could very well easily be a by committee thing where it just depends on who's kind of feeling themselves that game and is really being the aggressor. So but yeah, I'll go Cam Williams and Mo Diabate for my respective answers.
Those are good picks. I was also going to pick Cam Williams, but for the sake of this exercise, I'll pick Denzel Aberdeen just for fun. I would pick Jalen Lowe, but we didn't really see a ton of makes there last year. So unless he's kind of reformed that shot, or clearly he'll have a better supporting cast around him, I'm not going to go with him for highest percentage. For offensive rebounding, I mean, if you're going to leave me Jaden Quaintance, I will take Jaden Quaintance. I mean, whenever he gets on the court, somebody's got to take JQ. Somebody's got to take the monster, top 5 projected NBA draft pick. So I will take him. I will fall on the cross. Let's see. We've got some more comments.
Do you want Jaden Quaintance's offensive rebounding percentage last year?
I would love it.
11.8. So that would have still been the best on Kentucky's team last season.
See, I'll take it. Just don't wear slides when you do it.
Yeah, please.
Tyler, forgive me if you addressed this in the beginning. Which jersey is that? I've been trying to figure out those numbers since I sat down.
It is an old custom jersey my brother gave me when I moved to Nashville 15 years ago. It's the number 26, which is my birthday. So June 26th.
I was like 92, 20s. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my first guess. I don't even know. My first guess was Chris Johnson, but I said Chris Henry like a moron. But 26. He died when he was 26 years old. So I saw the 26. So my brain was where it was supposed to be. But R.I.P. Chris Henry.
I could go get it. I don't want to leave my set here. I have the old Titans jersey that Tyler has on right now, but the name is Country Boy. What better time to wear it than right now? It's like right here.
Was that intentional?
Come on.
Like, did you?
Someone? No. Someone gave it to me at a remote. They had it made years ago.
Oh wow! Go get it by all means.
All right, I'll be right back.
Yeah, that is incredibly random. Well, while he's getting that, I'll read some comments. Let's see. Alan Hubbard says, Jelly Yelovich is a first rounder. Attack the rim on other slower bigs all day long. Jaden gonna eat y'all. Glad there ain't no pressure on being number 1 in polls.
True. I like it, Alan.
I like it.
Where are we on the Jelly nickname?
I don't like it. I don't like
Jack
that.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
And he's wrong.
Source close to the Kentucky program reached out to me yesterday specifically to say they are in on the Jelly nickname.
But his name isn't Jelovich. It's Yelovich.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Because I didn't know if I was in or out on it either, but I think I've been swayed because it sounds like there are some inside, inside folks that do like it. So,
all right.
All right, Drew. Do you have this jersey or?
We just got new dining room chairs, and they're between me and the closet. So that was going to take a little longer to get to the closet than I anticipated.
Okay. Congrats on the new dining room chairs. That's a big moment.
The old ones are stacked up 3 high in front of the door. So, I'm going to be a minute on that. But next week, I will wear it.
All right. That sounds like a plan. When the Titans are 1-0.
I'm out of breath. I ran.
Not enough beer.
Yeah, I'm out of shape.
Hydrate yourself.
Drew, do you like the Yelovich nickname of Jelly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
you're not convincing me.
Can we get
I feel
a poll
like it's a little
going
too easy. I feel like it's a little too easy, but I don't dislike it at all. If that's what it is, that's what we're going with. Yeah, I'm in.
The Croatian sensation is such like we use that already with Big C.
Like
we can't. Jelly is it's like Mormon Mamba when it happened, or Mountain Mamba, Mormon too, but Mountain Mamba especially when it happened, it was like that's it. Like you feel it in the moment, and Jelly is.
What about Croatian Mamba, guys? Croatian Mamba. Hear me out.
If we're gonna do the whole roster with it, we might as well. Like what would Jalen Lowe's Mamba equivalent be? I don't know. Like Lefty Mamba. I don't know. I don't think there is one. But
let's start with an M. You got to get the alliteration.
Jelly's good. I just picture like a kind of like a chubby person. Like it's my friend Jelly. I picture like a fat guy.
Jelly roll.
Or like jelly roll, yeah. Or
maybe he'll hit us with a little jelly roll at the rim. He'll get a little signature move.
I wouldn't mind that one bit. Okay, Mackie S says only one Mamba per team. So we're going to have a Mamba off between Mountain Mamba and Mormon Mamba.
Jalen Lowe's from Missouri City, Texas, so we can go Missouri City Mamba.
I guess. Sure.
There you go. We're going to keep this going forever. All right, so let's switch over to NFL. Let's get back to some football because it's opening weekend. Clearly, we're all excited. Zach, you're the only one not wearing NFL gear.
Yeah.
So describe
Coward,
your excitement for the
Old
NFL
Navy.
opening weekend.
Well, my fantasy team, Jack and I invited Jack into my my league I've been doing with I have the same group of 5 guys. We've been doing this league since we were freshmen in high school, and I invited Jack and his lovely wife Katie to join this year. So they're now both. It's a bragging rights
exciting.
situation, no money on the line. But let me look real quick just so I can tell you who my number one pick was, so that way I can tell you like that's who I'm cheering for this season because. I'm a no man's land with I don't have a team or anything. I think Bijan Robinson was probably my number one pick, probably. He's
That would
good,
be
right?
the one.
Yeah, so Falcons. I'll be a Falcons guy this year, cheering for them
Fair enough. I gave
until he
up
gets hurt.
fantasy
Then I
football
switch.
Gross.
I gave up fantasy football 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, and it's probably the best decision I've ever made. Like I can just enjoy football games and not be stressed out about, if my team's doing well. Our league had gotten really, really intense and competitive. Like there were people doing trades every single week and it was a keeper league. So you had to figure out who you wanted to keep. And was it like when people started trading for draft picks, like that were 3 years down the road, I was like, okay, well, I think I'm a little too into this. I need to
I was gonna judge you. I was gonna judge you at first and be like, "Oh, come on, that's a little ridiculous." But I was like, "All right, yeah, that is a little ridiculous."
Jack. Jack, what I didn't tell you is I slid Katie $28 million under the table through her tree farming system that she started up. So she's got the number one pick next year. Sorry, buddy.
Damn it.
All right, Drew, you're the NFL expert, the NFL employee. Do we call you an NFL employee? Are you
that's what Mr. Goodell calls me. Yes, Mr. Goodell. When we have our morning meetings, when we have our Zooms, Mr. Goodell just calls me employee. Yes.
So the games haven't started yet, but since you have started your new show, Cover Zero, which is excellent, I encourage everybody to go subscribe to it right now. How is this going to change your normal NFL viewing experience? Like, I'm sure you've done a lot of research more than you would have if you weren't doing the show, but are you like going to be locked in front of a 3 TV setup on Sunday? What's the point?
The answer is yes, but that has nothing to do with the show. I've already been doing that. I'm blessed with a wife who knows that we work hard on Sundays or on Saturdays, and that on Sunday, I just want to be on the couch watching football, and I rig up a TV next to the TV that's next to the TV, and I have Sunday ticket, and I try to have every game on at once. So it's a homework assignment that I'm willing to take on because I already do that and try to keep up with the league a lot. The difference will be going to meet Matt in the studio at 11 p.m. on a Sunday. That'll be different, but I already watch a ton of NFL. Can't wait for tonight.
There you go. Are you going to be taking notes?
All those commercials.
No. I mean, I might jot a little bit down, but we'll see how it goes. I'm not an expert, but if there's a league I know the best, it's by far the NFL. If this was the NBA or MLB, I would be doing some homework, but I'm already pretty locked into NFL as it is.
Well, we're excited for you. It's going to be really fun to keep up with.
You want my touchdown picks for tonight?
Yes.
As an expert. I didn't give them on the other show. On that little thing we got going on.
KSR Happy Hour exclusive here. I'm ready.
Tyler, I'm sorry. These are not guaranteed locks or financial advice, but I will have money on these 2 players. Tyler, cover your ears. For the Eagles, A.J. Brown. I think he's plus 160. I'm gonna have a little bit on A.J.
Oh, yeah.
Saquon, the odds they always suck. Don't bet on Saquon. It's not worth it. And then Jake Ferguson for the Cowboy. He's got to be like plus 2 something. Yeah. So there you go. That's no scoop. That's no expertise. Just a man who has coffee with Mr. Goodell every morning telling you who he's betting on.
You heard it here first.
Yeah,
all right,
Ferguson's
Jack.
plus 265. There you go.
Tell us about your Sundays watching the Patriots.
Oh, well, first of all, Drew, I dabbled in Cover Zero this morning while I was at the gym, and it was just an amazing experience.
Thank you.
Want to just commend you. I'm a big fan of Cover Zero. I'm not a fan of where you listed my Patriots of the most watchable teams. Your Titans and the whole like Bears, like you guys going fandom and some of the horrible, absolutely horrible. But Patriots are going to be absolutely mandatory viewing because Drake May is going to be a superstar this year. Lock that in. And
if I can butt in real quick, a little inside baseball. I don't think Matt loved me doing the Titans at number 5 and even wanted to cut it and start over, and I wouldn't let him. So there's a little pushback on that. And
Who doesn't want to watch a train wreck?
Exactly. Episode 2 of Cover Zero, I'm very pro Patriots. So just
there we go.
Before you throw me aside for my Patriots talk, just stick with me through episode 2. Now carry on.
They will be very watchable. Drake May and Travion Henderson. Shout out Travion Henderson. So yeah, I am very much like Drew. I will be multiple TV set up, Sunday ticket, and all the things. I am all the way in on Sunday. See, I kind of like it because Sunday is when Zach and I share the website. So Saturday is like our relaxing, like that's when we go hang out with family or like go, drink and, kind of that's our social day.
Tailgate.
But Sunday is our lock in. We're working, we're pumping out posts, but it is football from 1 o'clock until 10 p.m. It's just the most beautiful day of the year. I absolutely love it. So yes, I am right there with Drew. We're going to have multiple TVs set up, and I'll probably shed a tear or two because it's my favorite day.
Tyler, I'm thrown off. We're a 4:30 game, 3:30 for you. The Titans.
I know.
We're like 1 o'clock. Lock it in every week. My routine's going to be thrown off.
Yeah, there are a lot of random afternoon games. Well, I mean, I know 12 o'clock's the afternoon, but mid-afternoon, I guess, is the better way to put it. Yeah, it's weird. I'll be at an airport because I'm flying to Nantucket on Sunday, so nice. I'll probably be around a bunch of Patriots fans, Jack. So I go through.
My people.
And we have a new guest, Zach. Tell us about your dog. Remy is already jealous.
This is Gouda.
Horrible.
This is Meredith's dog, who's now my This is Meredith's dog, now Zach's dog as well. She's a big fan of hopping up here in the middle of the day when she needs to go on a walk. So that'll be the first thing we do. I didn't even have to call her over. I was gonna bring her on anyways, but she did it on her own. She knew that it was her time to shine. So she'll be here for a minute until she gets bored.
I love it. Well, apparently we're putting Eddie Congress to sleep with our NFL talk. He just wrote in the comments, Eddie. NFL talk. Zzz. So we will go on to our next segment, which is a new one here. It's cheers or jeers. We're going to have 3 topics and say whether we cheers them, thumbs up, or jeers them. Oh, there's Benny Snell. My gosh. Look at all the dogs. I need, where's Remy?
Come on, Remy.
Here's my lug. Benny Snell Jr. Pilgrim.
Let's see if he'll hop in your lap. Is he a lap dog?
He can be.
I don't even know where Remy is. The fact that he's being quiet is a very good thing, so I'm not going to tempt fate. Oh my gosh.
I'm just looking down like I have a dog. I
don't pet rabbit running around or something.
Oh, there, Remy, come here.
My parents just got a new dog, so I feel like my family has a new dog. My parents very sadly lost it. They had a dog they lost. It was very sad a few weeks ago.
Here's Remy.
R.I.P. dog. My dad said, absolutely no dogs, never again. We can't do this. I've never seen him be so firm in a stance. Last week I get a picture of a dog with a pink bow in its hair sitting in his lap. I'm like, you made it like 2 weeks, Dad. So my parents caved and already got a new one.
We're suckers for dogs.
Yep, we are a dog-friendly show. Duran Rippey and Mark Pope have their cat. We have our dogs. All right, so cheers and cheers. Yeah, we're going to give you 3 subjects. Give us a cheers or a jeer. The first one is something I did not think I would discuss on a YouTube show, but it is Nick Roush's idea, so I'm going to make that clear from the start. Nipples in college football. So,
explain. That's a
Steven,
crazy headline.
You have some pictures to show.
Oh,
we have
what?
Not that.
All right.
KSR After Hours. That did not go as planned.
No nipples there.
I saw 0 nipples.
Also, is that Bruce Springsteen?
I wasn't familiar. Where are we going with the Mike Gundy thing? Does he have a nipple piercing too?
He his shirt up during his press conference on Monday.
Oh, I missed that one.
He went full skin.
Was he trying to prove that he doesn't have nipple piercings?
oddly, he was talking about the Christmas Story and how cold it was when he played at Nebraska one time and it was sleeting. I don't know why he pulled his shirt up. But yeah, so that was part one of nipples in college football. And then also the Ryan Day nipple piercing Photoshop that went around that everybody believed.
I believed it for like a day or two until
Yeah.
the internet told me it was fake.
So
Is this
cheers
going to be
to
a weekly?
you.
Is this going to be a weekly segment?
The nipples of college football.
Like just this
I hope
screenshot right here. I don't want to be on this screen. I feel uncomfortable with this right here. I'm going to go camera off so this doesn't resurface.
Oh man. So the
Nipples up.
there we go. Like my question here was the Photoshop. Whoever made that of Ryan Day looking like he had a nipple piercing. Like
We
Well
need
done.
to see it. We need
well
to see
done.
the Ryan Day nipple pierce.
it's
You want to see his actual nipple?
I feel
I
like
want to
if
see
you're
the
Ryan Day-
picture.
If you're Ryan Day, you got to walk into your Monday press conference and just be like, guys, I don't have one. End of story.
It's not on the
Moving
left
on.
one, guys. It's the right one. You got it
Or
wrong.
do you cheer the person who made the Photoshop that went viral or jeers them?
That's weird. That's weird. Why?
If
how do you
Steven
even
won't
get
do
that
it, I
idea?
will. There we go.
Oh,
How
thanks
do you
for
even get
circling
that
it.
idea?
I wasn't sure that's where it was.
There we go. What do we think?
I don't know.
The
I mean,
person who
it,
did that is sick.
Fake, but yeah.
It's
Right.
so funny. It's so
Sounds
random.
weird.
Like,
Cheers
It's a weird
and-
thing to fake. Yeah. Very
what a
Yeah.
sick mind to come
Fake
up with that.
right. But people believed it. I mean, that thing went viral. So the next one, the 2K. Okay, so the college basketball video game. EA Sports was going to make it. Now it's 2K because so many schools are choosing to work with 2K. I'll leave this one to the rest of you guys because I don't play the sports video games. So if you have serious thoughts on this, please share.
I'll
Go
start.
for it.
It sucks. It really does suck because although I don't think EA makes the most beautiful product in the world, the whole kind of messaging behind it is EA wanted all 350 colleges, men and women, for representation so we can have real March Madness, like a standalone video game that every single team could play in it, every single player would be represented, and you could, do an actual March Madness with the randomization and just the hecticness that comes with a normal March Madness, while 2K is kind of wanting to do an NBA expansion kind of DLC deal where you buy NBA 2K27 or whenever this 28, whenever this is going to come out, and you pay on top of whatever the retail price is of the game for the college basketball expansion pack. And it only features 100 programs. Kentucky obviously is going to be featured in either of them, so it doesn't really matter necessarily to Kentucky fans. But if you're going to do a college basketball video game, but you can't do a March Madness, look at these upsets, look at the craziness on Selection Sunday, all of those things, what's the point? Yes, I want to see Mark Pope holding up a virtual national championship trophy while he is doing that in real life as well. I'm with you, BBN, but it's just it kind of takes away the magic of March Madness if we're not doing it the way EA wanted. I'm hoping kind of bullying works where 2K gets the rights to it, and then other schools be like, well, why are you going to leave me out of this? And then they kind of get bullied into doing all 350 teams and kind of doing what EA had planned with a standalone. I'm hoping that's the path they go down because I think 2K is a better product, but it does suck that as things stand right now, it's not going to be the full 350 schools and kind of the magic that comes with that.
I imagine 2K really wants it as well because, like if they're going to do it a DLC situation, they're going to do something where you can make your own player in college and then you transfer them over to the NBA 2K. Whereas EA, you can't do that because they don't have any NBA games anymore because they lost all the rights for that. But to be fair, or to be honest, 2K and EA both make the exact same sports games every single year. Like they're just the same game. There's very little into like it's. They're not really getting creative with it because they kind of have a stranglehold on the market. Like NBA 2K is the only one making the NBA 2K game. So I would have rather have seen EA actually do it just because they would have been able to, like you said, Jack, get your 360 whatever teams. And like, my favorite part about playing that game when I was growing up was taking Furman, and like playing with them for 5 years and turning them into a dynasty and taking them to the NCAA tournament every year, winning titles. Like that was the best part about it. I'm sure it'll be fun to do it with Kentucky as well, if that were to be the case. But that was kind of the whole. I trust EA more to make like an actual recruiting backside, like behind the scenes. Whereas 2K, I can only like 2K just does storylines, like they do. Like they're trying to make their basketball game like a storybook essentially at this point. So they're both stupid. It's all greed situation. I don't even play video games anymore, so I'm just complaining to complain. But it's a bummer that these two couldn't come together and just make one giant game, make a perfect basketball game. You could do it if you wanted to, but no one wants to.
So it sounds like we're all mostly jeers with this one.
Jeers
for sure.
Cheers.
I mean, if I can't play Davidson in a college basketball video game, what is the point?
That is exactly what's going to be missing by going with 2K. Yes, correct.
Exactly. All right, final cheers or jeers. This is a story that's been going around. Chuck E. Cheese, the mouse, was arrested. And I don't know if we can show the video because it kind of went crazy earlier, but you've probably heard the story. The video came out, the body cam footage from the police, and it shows they arrested him like while he is performing in front of children, and that felt really weird. So my question was like, do you arrest the Chuck E. Cheese mouse in front of the children? Is that fair? Because they purposefully like decided to do that. Like the police were like, "Are you sure you want to do this right now?" And the officer was like, "Yeah." So is it cool to shatter children's dreams of the Chuck E. Cheese mouse?
The best part about that whole video is the very beginning when a little boy or like a little girl you can hear is like, "I want to take my picture with Chuck E. Cheese," and then you hear the police officer goes, "Not today. Sorry, Mr. Chucky's a little busy right now, ma'am." And just take him out front and throw him on the ground then and do it that way. Like, come on, you don't have to put him in handcuffs. And he's got the full mascot uniform on. Like, it just looks ridiculous. So you're asking for a viral video, and it makes it seem more. I mean, I'm sure I don't know what the guy did. I don't even know. I know he's a 41-year-old guy under that suit. So I'm sure if he's 41 years old, being the mascot of Chuck E. Cheese, there's probably some reasons why he got arrested. So.
It was credit card fraud.
Oh, well.
And
try to get too many tokens.
Not very good at it, I guess.
Too many tokens, and
yeah,
had to take them downtown. It's hilarious. That whole thing is just hilarious. I can't believe that a police officer walks into a Chuck E. Cheese, goes up to the manager and goes, "Hey, is that our culprit? Is that our guy right there? Yeah, go get him." And like, it's just the whole video is just absolutely ridiculous. I feel bad for the kids because, it kind of takes away the magic of it. It's like going to Disney World and watching Mickey Mouse get, elbowed in the side of the head. Like, yeah, that, you don't want to see that. It's your childhood. So I do feel, but there's also something to be said about like, if I had to witness the scary 80s animatronic, like, robot of Chuck E. Cheese in the corner with the band and all that stuff. Like, I feel like the kids, like, they don't need to be privileged to a live action Chuck E. Cheese. Like, send him to jail, and they can kind of grow up and build character by watching the robot band with Charles Entertainment Cheese leading the charge.
Drew, any Chuck E. Cheese thoughts here?
Yeah, I take a different approach. I think it's good for them. You know who's not going to get arrested? Those kids that just saw the mouse get arrested. They're going to remember that for a long time, and they're going to become adults, and one day they're going to have a crime in front of them that they could commit or not commit, and they're going to remember the day the mouse got arrested from the pizza joint when they were kids and what that did to them, and they're not going to commit that crime. So I think it's a good thing that happened to them. I don't think it should always happen. Kids shouldn't see it, but I bet those kids are better because of it. Also, get them away from the kids as soon as possible. You don't wait for them to get the car. Just get them then. Go get the mouse.
2025 version of Scared Straight here. Yeah. So it looks like we've got at least one cheer from Drew here, and then 2 jeers from Zach and Jack.
It also shows you who we trust around our children.
It's true.
If any of you all work
fraudsters.
If any of you all work at your local county fairs, I'm sorry. I'm sure there are wonderful people in the industry, but most of the people that are putting those machines together and lifting your children in and buckling them up, they've probably done some time. And there's nothing wrong with that. They have to go get jobs too. But this is just another example of when you go to Chuck E. Cheese or the fair or any of the events, you don't know who's hanging out with your kid under that costume or hitting the buttons. So there's Drew's take, a man with no kids.
I like it. So Eddie Congress would agree with you. He said, I grew up in an age where you didn't have to dodge meth needles in the ball pit. So a better
I think
time
we still have
and
a Chuck E.
age.
Cheese in Lexington. I think it's still open, actually. It's
I
off
think,
New
yeah.
Circle, I think it is.
It just closed. Like
No, did it really?
Like this, like last month.
Is this where
August.
Charles was just arrested?
It was over here. It was over here in Woodland. R.I.P.
I
Dang.
think I went to that one as a kid.
It used to be
definitely did.
booming. There was a
Oh, yeah.
Stein
Oh, my
Mart
God.
and a Chuck E. Cheese. Oh, that
Yeah.
parking lot, you couldn't get in there. Now it's
That
the
parking lot
mailroom.
is, yeah.
I
It's
love
empty.
it. We've got somebody, loyal BBN fan show says, what did I walk into? Well, that's a
Hopefully
great
not
question.
Nipples and Chuck E.
The
Cheese.
mouse
but-
getting taken to the clink. That's what.
all right, we are coming up on an hour, so let's wrap it up with the KS Board Q&A. Sounds like we have a problem with some graphics. Oh, no, we got them. Okay, great. So this is a good one. We were talking about basketball recruiting. Bobby Blue says several future visits have been scheduled that include 2 men's basketball recruits on the same date. How can the coaching staff manage to give equal attention to each prospect? Jack, I'll
Private
let
plane.
you start.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think that's the value in having 75 staff members on, around to, hey, while one kid is doing his NIL presentation with this guy, Pope can pull him into his office and say, hey, here's how, the film breakdown, here's how we're going to be doing this. And then he passes him off to, Alvin Brooks to kind of lead the charge in relationship, you can kind of mix and match with the approach and how each, so yes, there will be time where you will need undivided attention with everybody kind of in the same room, focusing on the close or whatever that looks like. But when you have so many staff members that are, experienced and have done, been there, done that, where you can trust them to give an NIL presentation by themselves, or trust, him to just break down film or whatever, that you can, gets a little chaotic when you have 4 or 5 kids on campus at the same time for one, a couple on unofficials or whatever. But, if you have 1 or 2 guys, I think it's definitely doable, and I trust this staff to make it happen.
It looks like that's going to be the case coming up soon. Maximo Adams and Caleb Holt visiting September 5th through 7th, same weekend. So Duron Rippey and Christian Collins are October 3rd through 5th. And then, of course, you got a bunch of people coming in for Big Blue Madness. Yeah.
Mhm.
Ethan Taylor, Josh Irving, and Jordan Smith Jr. So that's coming up before you know it. So, all right, we got one more question, or I guess, let's see. Yeah. Give some bold takes for this upcoming basketball season. That's from Connor R. Bold takes. I think Kentucky is going to win the SEC regular season title. They are going to beat Florida. I don't know how bold that is. I think a lot of us are hoping that will happen. But at least that way we won't have to worry about Kentucky potentially playing on Thursday or Friday of the SEC tournament. Well, they'd be playing Friday, but Wednesday or Thursday at least. So, Drew, what's your bold take?
Trying to think of some.
Damn.
I think they're going to beat Louisville at Louisville. They'll probably be an underdog there, but that's not that bold. I mean, they completely own Louisville. I will say that they run the table in the BBN United Classic presented by Kentucky Tourism.
Whoa.
Excuse me.
Hang the
Not
banner.
even a threat. I mean, not even a threat before they climb the ladder in Rupp Arena after winning the BBN United Tip-Off Classic presented by Kentucky Tourism.
Nice.
Too many country boys for you.
No, come back around to me. I'll have one. I'll get one.
All right, Jack, what's your bold
I'm
pick?
going that Andrea Yelovich and Jaden Quaintance will be your starting 4 and 5 by March Madness, and that Kentucky, that's going to be a Final Four level front court. I think that this, and I don't even think it's a bold prediction, because I think that's how this roster was built. That's what they invested in. I think, when you spend $18-20 million on a roster, you expect to, cut down nets and hang banners. So I think that those 2 aren't seen as the projected starters as of today, but they will end up being the starters by year's end as Kentucky goes to Indianapolis. We exercise our demons in that damn city, that damn venue, and we bring home number 9.
I love it. That's the only way I'm going back to Indy is for a banner. So, all right, Zach, what do you got?
All right, so I'm gonna say that Kentucky, maybe not the, maybe like I don't know, like a range or anything, but they will be one of the fastest teams in the country and like a top 5 team in transition scoring. And
Ooh.
kind of coupled with that, Jalen Lowe, if not leads the SEC in assists, is like a top 2 or 3 guy in assists, and he's kind of the engine that drives them to run up and down the floor all game long and kind of just exhaust opponents to death. So I think you're going to see a big emphasis on transition this year, especially with all the conditioning that Pope's been preaching. So I think my bold take is that Kentucky is just going to try and outrun everyone for a lot of the game, and it's going to be quite successful, I think. And fueled by Jalen Lowe is the engine of all that.
I like. All right, Drew, are you just hanging out on your branch with the BBN United?
No, I'm going to stick with that one too, but I have more. My Colin Chandler breakout. A lot of people are on that one, so that's not that bold, but he'll be one of the stars. I will say Kentucky goes 0-2 against Florida, but then beats Florida on Sunday in Nashville.
Ooh,
I like that.
Little
we have the old
Tennessee.
You can't beat a team 3 times narrative in Nashville, and Kentucky gets revenge for Pope's first SEC ring.
It feels to me like a Kentucky-Arkansas SEC tournament game is coming.
Oh, please don't.
I know. And maybe that's just the anxiety trying to creep in. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's
John
coming.
Calipari in Nashville, bring it. We've all seen that movie.
Yeah, he's got to make it to the quarterfinals first.
Yeah. That is true. All
Y'all
right,
talking a big game. Scares me.
We're going to wrap it up there. I think
now.
we have one more question, but we'll get to it next time because we're well over. So, okay. Here we go.
Let's do it. I like that.
All right, let's do it. Okay, Connor R., if you could become a TV show movie character for 24 hours, who would you choose and what would you do as that character? Oof. I would want to be somebody very, very rich so I could have access to all that money. I'm trying to think. I mean,
Walter White. Walter White is my answer. Walter White. Well, no, I'm gonna sell my meth business, and I'm going to run off and just buy an island and disappear off into the sunset. So it's gonna be a little different ending of Breaking Bad than you guys saw. But yes, I will take the money because he did run a very successful business, and good for him for getting as much money as he did doing it. But I'm going to kind of jump in the middle of the plot and just kind of cut off the end and just disappear and buy an island. So yes,
I love commending the meth, the meth cook here on KSR Happy Hour. He runs a successful, respectable business here.
Volunteering for cancer too.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's a good point. Actually,
what's the name of the security guard who was like laying on the money?
He's a famous comedian.
That wouldn't be a bad one. If you could find a way out of that room and get away with that money, that wouldn't be a bad pick. So, all right. Anybody else got a pick?
I'm an HBO guy, so I have to run through the list. Oz, definitely no.
No.
Sopranos. I like Tony, but I'm not cut out for that life. I'm too soft to be out there breaking legs. Kenny Powers, maybe.
That'd be fun.
Getting there, but I'm going to settle on, and Jack and Zach, probably you'll know it, but you're probably a little young to watch it live. But Vincent Chase on Entourage, I thought he had a pretty good life there for a while. Even. Maybe I'll be E. I'll be one of his cronies. But yeah, one of the Entourage guys. I'll say Vinny Chase.
Yeah, I'll take the female equivalent of that show, Sex and the City. I mean, any of the characters, they're all insane and stupid in their own ways, but they have money and they have great clothes and they seem to have, really awesome apartments that no one could actually afford if they did their professions. So I will take any of the characters in that show. What about you, Zach?
I've been sitting here trying to think of all the TV shows I've watched in my life, and I can only think of like 2. So I really don't know what my choice would be.
You don't play video games. You don't watch TV.
I do watch TV. I mean, like right now we're watching Wednesday. It's okay if I'm being honest, but The Office is my go-to. I've been watching a lot of the Community. That's a really good show.
Great show.
I think being Michael Scott for a day would be interesting, just to see go inside his brain, see how it actually operates.
Deal with the
paper. Yeah. Out today, right now.
Oh, is it today?
Oh, is it out? Nice.
Right now. So
I'm gonna watch it
before
I definitely gonna
your
watch
NFL viewing tonight. Watch a couple. Can that be our homework? Like next week, we kind of do like a little
We can
mini
do that.
review. See what we think of the paper.
Is this
Definitely.
the part of the show that I tell you all I've never watched The Office, the U.S.
Oh God!
I've watched like 4 episodes. Like I got to the episode where they're playing basketball and like it was kind of funny, but it just
All-timer.
wasn't doing it. Yeah.
That was the one that you quit.
The first
Yeah.
season is
That's
a
a
little
great
different
one.
than the rest of the
I
show.
know.
Yeah.
I know.
While we're on TV, can I shout out one I'm hooked on right now? Or is anyone else, whether in my squares here or in the chat, are we Dexter people? Because Dexter Resurrection,
Wanted
the
to.
new season, lives in my brain, and it's one of those you got to wait a week. So new one comes out tomorrow. It's one of those on like Tuesday. I'm thinking about it. So Dexter Resurrection has taken me back to a time when we didn't just get to binge watch everything and had so many options. It feels like a classic.
I actually do
never-
have one. My girlfriend's big into the Vampire Diaries, so I'm like over halfway through with that show. I don't know if anyone's seen that, but vampires, they live forever and they can do whatever they want. So
There you go.
I
Rick
could do
Pitino.
that. Yeah.
He could start his own show. Yeah. Well, those are all good picks. If you want another TV recommendation that is scandalous, The Hunting Wives. Have you all been watching that one?
Mhm.
I'm familiar, but haven't committed.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, just know who you're watching it with is all I'll say. Check to make sure your parents were, for some reason, I don't know why they would be in the room, but it would be uncomfortable if they were. I'll just say that. Beth Riddle.
Also,
loved-
the one with the texting. I can't think of the name. It's only been on a while.
The one
If
with
you
the
don't,
texting?
you don't know of it yet, it's coming. You'll know. It's one of it was a big crime where the daughter was getting texts. What is the name? I just watched it. It's one of the big Netflix shows right now.
They text in most shows.
It's got a big plot twist. I'm afraid to say too much. You'll know. It's
Wrong
a
Number?
story.
Is it
It's
called
about
Wrong
getting
Number?
catfished. I think
The
it's
loyal
called something.
BBN fan show is saying the wrong number. that not
Unknown
it?
number. Yeah, unknown number. I sounded like a
Unknown
crazy
number.
person trying to describe it.
You
Yeah,
did. You said the show with
it's-
the texting, which
yeah, I know.
yeah.
I've only had this much Country Boy too, but yeah, it's one of those where it's gonna be one of the Netflix hits that people remember.
Okay.
So, but you
Have-
probably
have-
would not want to be in that show, like a character in that
No,
show.
no. I'm just adding to our TV recommendations. I'm sticking with my Kenny Powers / Entourage pick.
Kenny Powers would be fun.
Yeah.
That
He
would
had
be
a
fun.
wild ride throughout that show.
Have you guys dabbled in the summer I turned pretty? It's
Oh,
like the TikTok famous one.
Heck yeah.
So Katie is watching that, and I'm like, trying to be like, oh, I'd never watch any of that garbage. But like, she'll have it on, and I'll kind of, peer around the corner and like, I'm kind of intrigued, just slightly intrigued. Drama is okay. Acting is horrific, absolutely horrible. They're just none of them are good at this, but.
Okay.
I like the drama.
Sell
I
me
do
out.
like I do like the kind of teenage drama. I do get caught up in that a little bit. So
My sister and
it's one of those
I-
like guilt watch.
Yeah, it's definitely a guilt watch. My sister and I were both watching that show. I read all the books, so I know how it ends. But Belly is the main character. I did not expect to be talking about The Summer I Turned Pretty on Happy Hour, but I love it. Belly's the main character, and she's terrible. It's like she is the
Horrible.
classic like character that is the main character. And you're
Belly?
supposed Belly, Delly. It's a nickname, but you're supposed to like her,
Jelly.
but you end up hating her. It's like she is the ultimate, just I don't know, hate watch. But all right, well, we have covered all of it. I think we have covered NFL, we've covered Ole Miss, we have covered recruiting, we've had a questionable cheers or jeers segment with nipples on college football. And
Mhm.
now we end with The Summer I Turned Pretty. So it was another successful KSR Happy Hour. Thanks for joining us, guys. Shout out to Country Boy for providing the beverages. That's a reminder I need to get up to Kentucky so I can get some. We will be back next week, hopefully celebrating another win over Ole Miss. Cheers to that. And Steven, we're going to count on you to keep us positive as we go into game weekend. So bye, guys. See you next time.